Okay, so you're going to learn how to solve quadratic equations. The first way you're going to learn how to solve is to solve by factoring. We already know how to factor, and you just learned about the zero product property, so now you'll be able to solve by factoring using those two methods. Alright, so we are given our first equation. To solve by factoring, your equation always has to equal 0, just like in the zero product property. From there, we're just going to ignore the equal 0, and we're going to use our AC method for this trinomial. So A is 1, or C is 18. So A times C equals 18. I need two factors of 18 that add to negative 9. My two factors of 18 that add to negative 9 are negative 6 and negative 3. So now I can rewrite this trinomial into 4 terms to be able to use our grouping method. I then am going to group my first two together and my last two. My greatest common factor of my first set of parentheses is x, leaving x minus 6 on the inside. My greatest common factor of the second set of parentheses is a negative 3 because of that negative there. I'm going to take a negative 3 out of both, leaving x minus 6 inside the parentheses. My inside parentheses are the same, which is good. I rewrite that once, and I put the other numbers in another set of parentheses, x minus 3, and I'm going to add that equals 0 back in. Now, if you notice, it looks a whole lot like our zero product property, where now I'm just going to set both of these equal to 0, so x minus 6 equals 0, and x minus 3 equal to 0, and solve. So I add 6, x equals 6. I'm going to add 3, x equals 3. My two answers are x equals 6 and x equals 3. Alright, my second example, the first step I'm always going to do is look for the greatest common factor. My greatest common factor here is b. I can take a b out of both, leaving b plus 5 in parentheses, equal to 0. Now do not forget to set both variables equal to 0, so that b has to equal 0 and that b plus 5 equals 0. This one's already solved. One of our answers is b equals 0. And then we solve our other one, subtract 5, b equals negative 5. Those are my two answers to my quadratic equation. In case you were wondering what this means is, a quadratic equation would be a U shape. One intersection would be at 0, and the other intersection would be at negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it would make a U. So you're actually looking for the two intersection points of the parabola. Alright, our very last one says 2k squared minus 14 equals negative 3k. You have to be careful. It always has to equal 0. This equation is equaling negative 3k. You know how to set it equal to 0. I actually can add this 3k to the other side. This is my b term, so I have to squeeze it in between the 2k squared and the negative 14 and rewrite it as 2k squared plus 3k minus 14 equals 0. If you don't do that, you're not going to be able to solve by factoring correctly. Okay, from there is our AC method. 2 times negative 14 is negative 28. Two numbers that multiply together to be negative 28 but add to be a positive 3 would be a positive 7 and a negative 4. 7 plus negative 4 is a positive 3. I rewrite this as 2k squared plus 7k minus 4k minus 14 equals 0. From there, I'm going to group my first two together and my last two. My greatest common factor of 2k squared and 7k is just a k. I pull a k out, leaving 2k plus 7. In my second one, my greatest common factor would be a -2, because that -4 right there. So a -2 would come out, leaving 2k plus 7. And that's exactly what I want my insides to be the same, equals 0. So now it's 2k plus 7 equals 0, and k minus 2 equals 0. Oh, I missed a step in between, I'm sorry. 2k plus 7, k minus 2 equals 0. Set both of them equal to 0. So then 2k plus 7, I can subtract a 7 and divide by 2. So then my answer would be k equals -7 over 2. Add 2. K would equal 2. So my two answers would k equals 2 and k equals -7 over 2. Alright, let me know if you have any questions.